We're actually really lucky that we don't live in fear and that we actually are surrounded by people who don't live in fear. And I'm very thankful for that. Very, very, very thankful. So raise your hand if you are thankful. Raise your hand if you are thankful that you don't live in fear. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. So anyways, I was chilling in the bathroom and I got this word. That fruit bearing, I realized too that this probably sounds really weird on the internet. Hello? Hello? Yeah, that's normal. Okay, fruit bearing is the outflow of the riches of our inner life. And so to me, this was a very profound revelation because, I'm always talking about where the mind goes, the man follows. You know, I have a tattoo on my arm that says, from the heart flows that which you speak, all of these types of things. And so I was feeling that no matter what we know or think that we know, or whatever we believe or understand, our lives are always bearing fruit of some kind. And so we, as human beings, depending on where we are at in life, we will be bearing good fruit, satisfying, life-producing, rich, glorious, good fruit, or we'll be producing bad fruit, rotten fruit, fruit that's good for nothing, it's foul, it stinks, it produces nothing of life because it's already dead. And so, you've probably seen those crab apple trees that kind of really suck, and they're like half dead, like the fruit is on it, and you pick off an apple and it's rotten, it's got worms in it, and even like the bark of the tree doesn't look very healthy. We've seen those. But then we've also seen the apple trees that are beautiful, that have actual apples on them, or orange trees, like, if you've ever been to California, and you could take the orange off the tree and peel it, and it's juicy and it's alive and it tastes so good, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is living, right? So you kind of get the analogy. And so we're like that as well, We don't have physical fruit that is like, hanging off of our limbs, but we do produce fruit in our life, and that's like the things we say or, the diseases that we may or may not have. Because we are the cultivators of our reality, and we have the ability to shift our lives around in order to produce, manifest, or be good fruit. And that ability of ours is called choice. Yes, choice. Every day, hour, minute, second of our lives, we are making nano decisions, both consciously and subconsciously. Whoa, I'm getting loud. I guess that was an important part. So we're making these nano decisions as well as we're making like regular decisions as well, but we're always making decisions, consciously or subconsciously, about absolutely everything. Even things that are seemingly inconsequential, but they are. Everything matters and is part of our cultivation and our manifestation here in the Garden of Earth. And we, as Adam was saying, we're here for a reason. Okay, like none of this is by chance or happenstance. These vessels in which we live are supremely designed for glory, should we choose that path. So like I said a little earlier on in the evening, like some of us have had a long week, right? Some of us have had a long month. Some of us have had a long quarter. Some of us has already had like a really long year. Frig, man, some of us have probably had a really hard past 5 years. Who knows? So I think it's really important, that in these days that are slower, that we take a step back for just a moment and look at our personal and individual lives. And there's no point in looking at the humans as a whole because we can't make decisions for the whole, for the masses. All we can do is focus on ourselves. And so let's look at the inner life. And just for an example, like the first thing that comes to mind, because it's at the top of our head, is our thoughts. Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking every minute, every hour, every second, every day, every month, every year? What are you thinking? And how does that manifest? Are you always talking negatively to yourself? Do you have self-conscious thoughts running through your mind constantly? And then, when you're out, when you're in a group, are you always assuming that people are talking about you? Always assuming that people are thinking the worst of you? And are you easily getting offended? Are you getting defensive? Are you constantly trying to prove yourself? That's your inner life. That is the fruit of what is going on. So when your inner life is not right, it's bearing this bad fruit, and then this bad fruit begins to bear more bad fruit, like trouble with relationships. And then this stuff continues in a pattern. It's like a horrific feedback loop of self-destruction. And then this can lead to a million other places as well. Like when we're at home alone with these awful inner thoughts, then we succumb to like fueling our bodies with crap, eating like 10 bags of chips and like frickin' pint of ice cream. Like, I know I've been there before, right? Poor nutrition then is what stems from that. And then we try to silence the noise in our minds by drowning things out, with drugs and or alcohol or whatever. Like this is a reality for so many people. But that inner life keeps on keeping on until it's not, because its end game is death. The cycle continues until you make it stop by choosing life. Now, please keep in mind, my friends, that I am speaking out of my inner life. This is what I have come to know as truth, and it's been effectively working with 100% success for 15 years, okay? This is just me, though, and I can only ever speak for myself because this is me, this is my life. But my thoughts about myself come from the Heavenly Father, who says that I am the apple of his eye. Yep, the creator of the world loves me and thinks I'm cool, so guess what, y'all? I'm cool. In fact, I'm more than cool, I'm awesome. He also says that I am light. So when I am anywhere, I know that I'm lit, right? I bring the light, and I bring that life with me wherever I go. So then what ends up happening, I end up speaking life, right? And I'm hugging people, and I'm loving people, and I'm listening, and I'm giving advice because people are drawn to the light, and I just let it flow, right? When I'm at home, I'm happy. I'm grateful to be alive, and I get my bad days. I get my bad weeks. I'm coming up on one when I start bleeding frickin' moon time, you know what I mean? But overall, I'm grateful and I'm happy to be alive, and I fuel my body with all the good things. And that helps me continue to feel good. And internally, it causes my gut health to be good. And all of this beautiful, harmonious cycle of good fruit bearing and growth is what it's all about. You guys see what I'm saying? Our inner life is important. That spirit that's inside of us is important. These physical bodies will die. These physical bodies are just the outer shell. The reality of who we are is within, and it manifests to the outside. And so I just want to really encourage everybody in this season, the season of spring, where death comes alive. Take this opportunity for your own life to come alive like a flower in bloom, because we only have one life. This is it. This is life. Here we are. And if you're not feeling good, and if you're bearing terrible fruit in your life, friggin' stop it now. You have the power. You have the ability. And I'm going to say the truth to you. You have people like me and you have people like Adam who are here to love you and help you. And so like I said earlier on, yeah, you might get offended by some of the things I say, but the truth is I'm going to say it anyway. But Yeshua says that I am the way, the truth, and the life. And he didn't say it as a joke. He didn't say it to not mean it. What he said, he meant. Just like when we're speaking, we should always let our yes be yes and our no be no. We should always speak the truth. We should always say what we mean, and we mean what we say. And so when Yeshua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, he said it because it's true, if you choose to believe it. And so like I said, this is something I chose to believe 15 years ago. And I don't want to brag or nothing, but I feel like I'm bearing pretty good fruit in my life. And this is something that I would love to see everybody I know, everybody I love be able to manifest as well. And not only that, people I don't know, because who watched the movie friggin' Planet of the Humans? Not a good situation. Anyways, that is my message. That is my word. That is my truth. And I hope, dear God, some of you heard it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.